I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jay-Z.
And this is Just My DIY.
Yes, and we are really excited about today's build because it is our first maker collaboration.
We're working with Richard and Jennifer of Poor Man's DIY in an origami and display case challenge.
Yes, and there's actually several makers working together on this origami display build-off. This is our creation. We'll link everyone's videos down below, so be sure to check those out. But for now,
we're going to show you what we did.
Yes, we are.
Bam! First step in this collaboration effort is to follow Poor Man's DIY on how to make an origami crane.
Yep, Richard and Jennifer did a great tutorial on this to kick off the collaboration. And the first thing that they say you need is a square piece of paper. It doesn't have to be origami paper, which we don't have, and we're in quarantine, so we can't get it. Luckily, I have this great scrapbook paper left over. Daniel's gonna do a big one with some pink and gold flamingo print. And I'm going to do a smaller one, trimming out this crab paper. And we're gonna get started. First off, I had to square up my piece of scrapbook paper, which was fairly easy since I have some great paper cutters laying around.
Now, we just fold it down the center line and unfold. Fold it down the other center line and unfold. And you know what? You should just follow Richard's tutorial with this link right here.
Richard did a great tutorial on this that was really easy to follow, even for somebody like me who's never tried to do origami animals before.
We both now have our origami cranes as per Richard's origami crane tutorial. And unfortunately, in the display box, there can be only one.
Yep.
So now they must fight to the death in order to figure out which one deserves to be in the box.
That's not what we talked about.
It's a survival of the fittest thing.
No, it's a size thing. We're going with the little one because we don't want to make a giant display box. However, the little one will have another origami friend.
Richard made us a very nice shark out of origami paper. Richard, do you have that shark for us?
Here you go.
I thought you said he was nice. What is happening here?
Don't worry, Richard. I'll take good care of our awesome little shark until he can go in the display. You ready in the workshop?
Yeah.
Since we're still in quarantine, we're going to be working from our scrap pile. And the good news is that we have a really awesome scrap pile.
And we decided to use this crane because we couldn't fight them to the death. Figure out which one would be the one in the frame scene. So we're just going to set it up so these two can fight. They're at their corners and ready to go.
No fighting to the death. But since we have a shark and we happen to have lots of old practice resin ocean pours, we thought we would incorporate one of these into our display box. And now the question was, do we use a rectangular one or a round one when we were practicing for the Porthole Table?
And of course, she likes the round one. It sounds more complicated. And it probably look better in the end too. So we're gonna make a Colosseum where they did actually fight to the death, historically speaking. I want you to know this. So we just need to get practice run at the...
We have no idea how we're gonna do this, but we're gonna give it a go and hopefully have the most awesome display in the challenge.
Hopefully.
We will, totally. Winners, right here.
And here.
Winners. Winners.
Once we decided how we were going to proceed, we used a router to cut grooves in the board that we would use to hold the top and bottom of our display case together. We made the top groove a little thinner for the thin sheet of acrylic we'd be using for the clouds and sunrise setting. And we used the bottom groove to be a little thicker to accommodate the resin poured ocean. And we cut it down into 1.5 inch slats, nothing special. And everyone's favorite, sanding.
Once the columns were grooved, cut, and sanded, it was time to stain them. Luckily, we had a lot of stain already around the house, so I just picked up some golden oak and stained the columns front, back, sides, and tops.
So we use a circle jig to score using a scriber both sides of the plexiglass, a slight bit over the measure we were actually looking to make in case of any mistakes. And sanded down to the exact size that we were looking for.
Now to decorate this acrylic piece, I'll go ahead and tell you I am no artist, but I did have some extra photo transfer solution around, so I pulled out some old printouts from when I was redoing the art in the master and decided to make it work. I put two together, cut them out to size, and then painted on the Rust-Oleum photo transfer. The solution just goes right on top of your laser printed art, and then you use a credit card to get all of the extra bubbles out. I let the solution work for 12 hours before starting to rub it off. Now, a few notes on this. It's actually not designed to work on acrylic, so I did expect the image to come up a little bit, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a bit. To get the paper off and leave the image on, you just use a damp cloth and lightly rub in circles. I did let it dry in between and then started again rubbing off the paper. As you can see, there were a few pieces that came up, but overall, looks great. Nothing a little bit of craft paint can't fix. So I went in and decided to make all of the little holes that were showing into extra clouds in the sunset, which, even though I'm not an artist, I gotta tell you, I was pretty happy with how this turned out. Once that dried, it was time for the glue up. To do this, we laid out two long strips of painter's tape and then started to line our wood columns up on top of that. We used rulers to ensure the right spacing, which was about an inch between each board. So we just lay them down, making sure they're nice and secure on the two strips until we had all slats in place.
We're going to use 3 different kinds of adhesives. Hot glue for the acrylic on top and a wood glue super glue combo for the wood / resin poured piece on the bottom.
Yep, so we started on one end and then just rolled it on up and used some painter's tape to help hold the creation in place while it cured.
We used a paper towel to clean up any of the excess that was spilling over.
And while that was curing, we wanted to string up the crane because we wanted him flying inside our Colosseum. Six hours later, it was time to see if it worked. We stood it right on up and got to work hanging the crane, which we're going to use by putting the other end of the string through the hole that we had drilled for the circle jig. However, we learned that the particular beading wire we were using didn't work so well with hot glue. We just kept melting it. We switched to a different kind of wire, strung it back up, and there we go. Our Colosseum origami display case.
And what a beautiful display case it is.
If we do say so ourselves.
And we did.
So thanks so much for watching our part of the origami display build off. Thank you very much to Richard and Jennifer for including us in this.
And sending us some beautiful origami sharks to include in our display case.
Yes, So be sure to check out everyone else's videos down below. Just don't make them fight. Just don't make them fight. Just don't make them fight.
He nested. He's nested.
Okay, so tell us what you think in the comments below.
And if you liked what you saw, then don't forget to click the like, the subscribe, ring the bell for notifications of future videos, and check out our list of materials and our collaboration video links down below.
And if you're not watching this on our website, head over to justmydiy.com for other tips, tutorials, backstories, and more. Thanks for watching. Just don't know they're not fighting.